if you want to improve calisthenics skill fast, you should highly consider EDT, which is a training structure to maximize skill learning with calisthenics. It's a training structure. If you're not familiar with it, you should watch how to improve calisthenics skill fast, how to refine calisthenics skill fast, which is a video on this YouTube channel. It's sort of an introduction to today's video, which will really elaborate on how to actually program, or one variation of programming of the escalating density training approach. Okay, so what you see here is basically two main skills. That's the bread and butter. You can even forget about the two additional ones for now. That's the bread and butter. That's the main skills. It can be one exercise, it can be two. And then you're watching weeks 1 to 6 and weeks 7 to 12. Why separate? Why make a difference? Because eventually adaptation slows down when the stimulus is very close to one another or the same. So you want to change, but not in any significant manner, enough so you will still improve on your main movements. You chose 1 to 2 exercises. EDT works great with 2 exercises as well, but provided they are antagonistic, so planche press and front lever pulls, freestanding handstand push-up, and one-arm chin-up. I would say that if you do choose 2 exercises, make the EDT at least 20 minutes long, potentially longer. If you only choose 1 exercise, 15 minutes, 20 minutes can work as well. So we have a time frame. Let's say it's 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that's the time frame to work the skills. Okay, that will remain constant throughout weeks 1 to 6. We want to increase the quantity of work via higher number of sets, which is really emphasizing the learning opportunities, which is not exactly the same as increasing quantity with doing more repetitions within the same set, which will increase the fatigue as the set go on and reduce or decrease the average quality and power production of every repetition of the workout. So you should start with something that you can do 5 single with, or about 1 repetition every 3 minutes. If you can't do so, you're probably starting with a variation that is too hard for you. So maybe you're doing straddle planche presses or advanced planche presses to handstands, or that can be even push-ups, and it's too difficult. You should start with either like a light band support, like 5 kilogram support, a very light band, or just stack planche presses, something that you can do a repetition, 1 set of single, once every 3 minutes, okay? So for a superset, that will be once every 6 minutes. Same again for the other exercise, something that you can start with 5 single with, provided it's 30 minutes long, or 1 repetition per 3 minutes. And we will, across time, improve from 5 sets of singles to 15 sets of single. So imagine the progression that you will make. And how much would that take is really depends on the person, because if you're more beginner, you'll be able to reach the 15 repetitions sooner. And if you're advanced, you'll maybe add just 1 repetition once every workout, which will also be great. You're taking a pragmatic approach, but the slow and patient one is more often than not the fastest way actually to improve. So that system as well is sort of adaptable to the level of the practitioner, because your body will allow the progression rate according to his rate of adaptation. So each workout you at least improve by 1 set of single, okay? And you will perform that workout twice a week, which is usually the frequency sweet spot for most practitioners. Same with the other one. Remember, they don't really have to be equal. So maybe here I will progress faster, on the front lever I will progress slower. That's fine. Allow the front lever to progress within its progression rate. Okay, so here we go into the next portion. Oh, before that, once we reach 15, let's say that happened before the 6 weeks, okay, we run it back. We increase difficulty and we drop back into 5 sets of singles, okay? We might even intentionally make the first workout a deload workout and we will only do 1 or 2 singles with the increased difficulty but reduced volume. So just for the deload, first session will start with, let's say, 2 singles. Significantly lower volume, it will slightly flush some stress, fatigue from the body, and then you can continue accumulating more and more singles. How to increase difficulty? If it's a weighted exercise, you can add weight at this point or increase variation. So advance tuck, planche, presses, or push-ups to whatever. Or reduce the assistance by band. Okay, it's a very slow and methodical approach. How much assistance to reduce, how much difficulty to add using bodyweight variations. The amount that will allow you to, again, do about 5 singles with, okay? That's the amount of the jump that you will make in difficulty. Okay, same from the front level. Once you achieve the 15 singles, boom, and you repeat that process as much as you need within those 6 weeks time span. And once you complete the 30 minutes escalating density training, the main portion, the skill, here we really arrive at the second portion, which is, I would say, optional, but highly recommended. Often when we are just doing the skills or just focusing on 2 exercises, we really take away from the long-term potential of ours. And we would usually want to complement with some bent arm exercises or just other general strength training exercises. So handstand push-up and chin-ups. We will progress from 3 sets of 5 to 3 sets of 8. So again, similar in approach, but it's not EDT at this point. It's just a double progression method. The first session will be 3 sets of 5, and then maybe the next one will be 2 sets of 6. The last one will be 5, and then I will improve again. The last one I will be able to increase to 7 repetitions up to 8. Once I reach 8, again, I drop back. I do just 1 set of 5. So the first session will be, again, like a deload session, flush some stress and fatigue, and then run the 3 sets of 5, 6, whatever again, until I reach sets of 8, with obviously an increased difficulty. In handstand push-up, you can add a range of motion, you can add weight, you can play with it. You can go towards 90-degree handstand push-up. You get the idea. You have to increase the difficulty enough for you to drop back to about sets of 5. You will do that for the antagonistic superset as well. That's not the main portion, okay? It's complementary, thus only 3 sets. We don't really want to allow more time for that. We don't really need. We want the focus to be here. A lot of intent, a lot of focus, a lot of intensity is on the EDT portion. Okay, so we did singles with our bread and butter, meat and potatoes, the skills that we want to learn. But singles is very specific, and eventually the adaptation will plateau because we can only run singles for designated amount of time before we have to change something. And a lot of mistake that a lot of people make is changing the exercise altogether, doing completely different workout routine. No, we are just switching to triples. Triples is the highest amount of repetitions that you will do per set in a EDT format, because past that it's really hard to increase every single set, because every set you increase, it's necessarily 3 repetitions that you increase, which is a lot. So you will start with only 3 sets of 3, and you will build up to only 8 sets of 3. Each set will be very hard to increase. It's a lot of progress to make. You will do that with the antagonistic as well. It's still 30 minutes. You can change it at this point. Okay, now it can even be 40 minutes. You can play with it 24 minutes. But it's the repetition per set that change. It's a different stimulus, more time under tension, which will aggravate adaptation again. It's something different. Progressing to 8 sets of 3, and then once you can reach really 8 sets of 3, you come back again, increase the difficulty, make the first session a deload session for that movement pattern, so you only do one set of 3, and then again, try to increase sets up to 8 sets of 3, okay? With the second complementary superset, we will now do sets of 8 to 10. So this is sort of like a higher volume phase. The complementary exercises will as well adapt to the high volume phase, and now it's sets of 8 to 10 and not sets of 5 to 8 repetitions. Add repetitions, then rinse and repeat. Remember about the deload, about the progression rate. It can be, specific to the exercise. Don't try to force an equal progression rate on all exercises. It's even a good thing to allow each specific exercise to adapt in its own rate, have the deload in its own frequency, and so on. That's how you can run an escalating density training program, a 12-week program, which will be great. That's one workout that you will run twice a week. You will also add another workout with total of 4 workouts per week that have different exercises. So it's now planche and front lever. Maybe the other workout will be a bent arm session. Maybe it will be different skills, but you get there. Maybe it will be lower body, but it doesn't really necessarily, you don't necessarily have to do another EDT workout. It's just, I really advise making the rest of the workouts, provided you do work other stuff, to also be in an EDT format. Okay, it's not a must, but I believe that adaptation is somewhat systemized. So when you run singles, I like to run singles across or low volume across. And when I run high volume, I like to run high volume across. It's lower body and upper body as well. If it is the handstand push-up and chin-up as well. You don't have to, but the body responds, the nervous system, you have one nervous system for the whole body. Even if you train this high volume, this high intensity, you have one nervous system. If you want to get strong and jacked, there's a new training program for weighted calisthenics and barbell movements. It's called Hybrid Strength. Check the link in the description below. For a strong and jacked individual, it's great for general strength and size. Definitely check it out. If you have any questions about this programming or any variation that you can or want to apply yourself, let me know in the comments below. See you next time.